So we have moved in to a little co-working. Oh my gosh, I just realized how wonky my cabinet is. We have just moved into a new space, as you saw from the footage earlier, and it's kind of a mess. We spent all of yesterday bringing things in. Not great when your office is located on a hill, but we got it done. We got most of the furniture assembled. Things need to be fixed up. I mean, if we... this is on a tripod, so this is probably... we're gonna learn on the fly. Yep, things are in a mess. We've got stuff here. These are all of the stuff we use for crafting. And I did plan on putting it here at first, but now that I look at it, it's a bit dodgy because there's a step there. It doesn't leave a lot of space for standing around. I might move things around. And then this is the other side. We've got shelves to put up, which are being very annoying, let's say. This light's needed because there is an issue with that light, and just in general, this light is not great for filming. And yeah, we've got like lots of stuff to do. So, if you are wondering, I started a home goods business since October-ish. Well, I started working on it since... Actually, no, it was even earlier. Let's say August. And I've been working from home. Like, I've been trying to figure it out from home. All of this that you just saw has been stuff that has piled up over the last, not even a year, let's say it's about a year. And it just got to a point where it felt like it wasn't working in a home. Like, if you're based in a country where you have garages or actual extra rooms in your house, you wouldn't have had to do what I just had to do, which was to move into a different place altogether. But here in Singapore, that's kind of rare. This is what we had to end up with. So I found this space randomly. I was not planning on doing this at all, like moving to my own space, because it just did not seem feasible. Like, a giant office space or even a giant studio space would have cost thousands of dollars a month in rent. So that wasn't on the cards. But this random space showed up. It's actually a former student accommodation, and they've just turned the rooms into private offices. So that came up. It was a very reasonable price, a rate that I can actually afford. I think having this space that I can call my own, where I feel comfortable to even do stuff like this, I would not have done this at home. Like, I would have been so self-conscious of my parents being like, why are you talking to a camera? It's not a lot more space than I had back home, but everything's consolidated in one room, whereas in the past, I had like my work table in the dining room, I had printing and stuff in my room. That wasn't great, so hopefully all of this is gonna work. Vlogging as well is a new thing. I do not know how to keep a consistent vlog. We're gonna see if that works in the long run. But what matters is that we try, right? Today is technically day one of kind of having this space to myself. We got the keys yesterday, so I'm going to count that as day 0. We need to do a lot of arranging, let's say. I want to get things out of boxes just so that I don't have a room full of stuff like this. We'll see what we get done. My main concern right now is that I can smell a coffee fragrance somewhere, and I think it's in one of these boxes, which is a bit concerning. So let's get it out as soon as we can and we'll see what else we can get done. Okay, I see the fragrances hidden beneath everything. Here is one of the many boxes of samples that I had. Some of them did not survive the trip upright. Thankfully, I don't see anything that has leaked. Most of my boxes, I'm gonna be very honest, are these tiny sample bottles. Might have gotten a bit carried away when I first started with sampling, but to be fair, I'm not like a natural person who knows much about perfumery and fragrances and stuff. I'm learning this through making my crafts and stuff, so I had to do that, I felt, just to gain a bit of confidence to know what a tomato leaf smells like, for instance. Okay, this is a box of wax in packets. These are the coffees. These are not the coffees. Oh, I see it, okay. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that? Ooh. Oh gosh. Can you see that? we have some leakage. It's not that terrible, to be fair. Like, it's just a little bit on the label. So this is gonna get cleaned. I think that's it. That was the only thing that has gone a bit south during trip, which is good actually. I was very concerned about things falling over, glass bottles breaking. While we're doing this, if you are new here or have not been kind of around when I started this, like if you don't know me personally or through any of my other kind of projects that I do, where should I put this? I'm starting this home goods business. It's called Mornington House if you're interested. I don't know if the website's gonna be up when this video goes up, but let's just say if it is, it'll be somewhere. As a kind of experiment really, just to see how it's like to start up my own business. I've always been interested in interior design, home goods. Like if you are familiar with brands like Muji, everyone knows IKEA, Crate & Barrel, CB2, EQ3, all of those things. I just kind of in general enjoy those. And I also make videos in kind of creative games like Sims, Minecraft. So just in general, creating is a fun thing that I like to do. I did study media and that was what I was pursuing on a freelance basis for a bit. But when I had a contract that wasn't renewed with one of my clients, I kind of took this as an opportunity to be like, okay, you don't have any active work right now. Do you want to try and figure this out? Like, just give it a go. If it doesn't work, at least you can say you've tried, and then we'll see what happens from there. Like, it's not like you're gonna have anything too bad happen to you. So that's where this entire project came about. I was already working on it as I was freelancing, but sometimes when you have too many things on your plate, you don't have the full headspace to really make much progress on it, and that's why I felt with trying to balance freelancing and doing this project is that it wasn't really moving. So I took the last year or so to kind of figure it out. Now that we have our own space, I'm also doing a part-time job just to keep finances slightly stable. Like good enough that I don't have to worry about it, especially with now that I have to pay rent on a monthly basis. So okay, here we go. This is what happened. So one day when I was doing a bit of late night YouTubing, I was recommended a candle making video. First of all, it was half an hour long. Second of all, never really watched a candle video before, and miraculously, I sat through the entire thing. And it was actually very engaging. I will give full credit to Brambleberry and London, who was the person speaking in that video. And that led to kind of everything you see now. So there was a bit of candle making. We also stumbled into the world of soap making because Brambleberry also does soap tutorials and stuff. I go to a soap studio with my mom and we learned all of that. In case you're wondering, soap studio, it's because here in Singapore, and I did not know this until we tried to make soap at home. You're not actually allowed to possess sodium hydroxide in a residential setting in Singapore. It's a safety reason, so you have to go to the soap studio and do it yourself. So that's what we've been doing, and it's been great. We've been getting to know a lot of people, and then slowly but surely, all of this kind of came together, and I was like, okay, maybe this can be where this is where we explore the world of home goods and stuff. Like, I wasn't even a candle user, let's say. Like, I didn't know anything about candles. Like, all of this is my opportunity to learn stuff. And I will say I've learned a lot of things along the way, and you will get to know all of these slowly as we focus on stuff. I'm just rambling because I needed something to do while wiping bottles. As with most people. Probably what I'm gonna do is just put these things into that cabinet here. It's a cheap little cabinet from IKEA. But just so that we can put things away, and then over time I'll go back in and rearrange it. So maybe let's do that. So you know how earlier I was saying most of my boxes are fragrances? As you can see, fragrance, fragrance, fragrance. Like literally these two shelves right now are just fragrances. And there's more! Okay, so this means nothing for most people, but this was kind of the first few fragrance samples that I got. Thanks camera for focusing. Wow, this is very nostalgic. Turns out maybe I've got less fragrance than I thought. But because we're moving on now to wigs. So where shall that go? Okay, so as of right now, this thing, this island counter, which is going to be a workspace, has been along this corner of the room. As I've been planning and preparing to move into this space, I've always had this like planned as here, but now that it's here, it feels very like, okay. So, table, plugs and stuff, so that's convenient, but step, door. And I just feel like I don't know if I want it there. There is another place I can consider, which is what I'm like trying to decide on now. Is okay, so this is a storage cabinet, right? There's a space here as well. This is gonna have to be shelved. So, and these shelves are supposed to be where I will place like the finished products, right? So I'm wondering, should I move it there? I think let's move it. It's gonna be a disaster. Please don't scratch the floor. Okay. I think it's because there's a giant tub of this here. Okay, no scratching on the floor as of now. Uh-oh. Have we run into a problem? There might be a problem. We've got a plug in the way. So unless, this could be like, oh, hello camera. This could be a space for this thing. Sorry, it's on the tripod. I'm gonna have to figure out how to like learn proper vlogging techniques. This could be there. And then, you know, we could have it stick out a bit. I could even have it as an L shape, to be honest. Like, if do this. I like how I'm like, oh, there is no space for the cabinet, for like standing. And now this is my little space if I were to do the L shape. The good thing about doing it this way, as an L shape as opposed to against the wall, is that if I make videos and stuff and I want to demonstrate stuff using the cabinet, sorry for the light, it'll be easier because I have the weight like pointed towards me. I mean, this needs to be against the wall in some way at the bare minimum. So, this might just be here, and what? Spatial planning, people. Spatial planning. It's actually quite efficient use of space. Like, do I really need more than this little bit of space to get things done? Not really. I might leave it, honestly, for now. Might seem a bit odd, but it clears where the camera is. It clears a huge space here. I don't really want to move the cabinet there. Yeah, I don't know why, it just doesn't feel like... I might move it, but for now. We've cleared most of the boxes, actually. I've just got a metal shelf left to do. We've got some of these to clear up. This is actually a vacuum chamber, which is going to be interesting because I've never used it before. It's for silicone mold making. Potentially a video coming on that because I will have no idea how to use it. I would say we're starting to have like a decent setup. At some point I also have a decent way of standing. Things are going swimmingly, so I will carry on. Maybe I will show you what happens the next time we check in on each other. But for today, I think that's where we're going to leave it. So, thank you very much for joining me on my first day of moving in. Thank you for tolerating the strange angles if there were any. I'm new to this. We're gonna figure this out together. Progression over perfection. And yeah. So when this is done, I will see you then and we can take a look at stuff. Or whenever I start to actually make some candle stuff or soap stuff or random things. Thank you for watching.